Thank you for being here this morning. My name is ax-man1.m4v. I'm with the Asian Economic Development Association. And this morning, we want to highlight some of the things that the businesses on University Avenue will do in anticipation of the losses that they will face during the construction of the Central Corridor Light Rail project. I want to talk a little bit about the Asian Economic Development Association. It is a nonprofit organization run by small business owners on the avenue. We were created about 4 years ago when the alignment of the Central Corridor Light Rail Transit project was decided for University Avenue. And our members wanted to be more involved in the decisions that go into planning of the Central Corridor Light Rail project, and that's how they came together. And then they started our organization, so we remain focused on Central Corridor and advocating for small businesses, making sure that their voices are heard, and that the project will ultimately benefit them. So as an organization, we help businesses with events such as this morning. We basically provide forums for businesses to make sure that their voices are heard, that they have opportunities to influence the project, that they have opportunities to make sure that elected officials and decision makers make decisions that will benefit small businesses on the avenue. So although ADA does not oppose light rail on University Avenue, we support businesses to take actions for their own benefit as a whole, as a group. And today is one of those things that we support if the businesses want to, for example, ask for a compensation fund, which we'll talk about more. We support businesses in asking for that. So that's a little bit of a background about ADA. In your packet you have this handout, 3 sheets, and I'm going to talk about what this information is. Now, University Avenue has over 1,000 over 1,000 businesses, and over 900 of these are classified as small businesses, and these are under $2 million in annual revenue. And of those 900 businesses, they have over 3,000 jobs. So University Avenue is a thriving commercial corridor. Provides thousands of jobs for individuals, and the economic impact, as you can imagine, is pretty big. Gross revenues for businesses on the avenue totals over $1 billion every year. Now that's pretty big. That's bigger than the whole budget of the city of St. Paul. And so Central Corridor is a huge asset for the region in terms of its economic impact. It provides jobs, it provides services that the community needs, and it's sort of the hub between the Twin Cities where folks come to. I mean, there isn't another avenue like this in the Twin Cities where you have this diversity of businesses, this diversity of culture, diversity of cultural institutions. Everything is here at University Avenue. So if you look at on the third page, it would tell you, on the second page, it would tell you the kind of the breakdown of the number of jobs available. The small businesses, those businesses classified as small businesses, employ the most people on the corridor. And those are the ones that are most threatened by the development of Central Corridor.
I'm at a meeting right now.
We have been working with small businesses over 3 years. In fact, my organization has been working with small businesses for more than 4 years, preparing them for the coming light rail. In addition, working with small businesses to work with those who make decisions to make sure that they have the resources, namely funding for when construction takes place so that they can survive. Now, we know from locally what's happening in downtown St. Paul and from other cities that light rail construction will have a dramatic effect on businesses, especially their revenue. They will lose between 30 to 60% of their revenue during construction. And we know, based on the plan for Central Corridor, that each business will be impacted for at least 300 days during the construction of the corridor. So I just wanted to give you a picture of what's at stake on University Avenue. The thousands of jobs that people depend on, and the economic impact on the region is just so tremendous. University Avenue just has such a tremendous economic value. I'm not even talking about culture and all the other values that University Avenue bring. I'm just talking about jobs and the number of the economic impact. It's just tremendous. No other corridor in the Twin Cities it comes close to University Avenue. So lots and lots is at stake in terms of people's lives and their families, how they live and provide for their families and so on. And that's why we're here today. We want to highlight that fact that although light rail it will bring some benefit, but in the short term, a lot of businesses see that not enough is being done to ensure that they will survive the construction season, the construction phase of the Central Corridor. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Jim Siegel, the owner of Ax-Man Surplus Store here. And I just want to introduce the other speakers that we have here today too. So we have a total of, including myself, 5 speakers. And first one will be Jim Siegel. He's over here. The second one is Sang Moa. He's over here. And then we have Diane Doobie and Larry Peterson over here. So up next is Jim, and he's going to talk about how the Central Corridor is impacting his business.
Thanks, Vamik. As Vamik mentioned, I own Ax-Man Surplus, and we've been on the avenue for over 45 years. And our concern as a business operator is the fact that during construction, we anticipate losing up to 60% of our revenue during construction. And the concern that I have is that the elected officials have not recognized the fact that the plight of the small business owner is going to be economic resources, and they have not been adequately addressed. And I'm not sure if they're waiting for blood on the streets, but that's certainly to come. I hold in my hand a letter dated October 2006 when I raised these same concerns to Mayor Coleman. And his response was that this is obviously an important project that's going to attract jobs and benefit the entire state. And I don't think that business owners are opposed to development as long as it's not at the expense of our businesses. Currently, less than 1/4% of the entire project, the entire approximately $1 billion project, has been allocated to a business support loan program, approximately $1.5 million in low interest or no interest loans. I think you can apply for a $10,000 loan 6 months after you're impacted by the construction. And it sort of seems like a slap in the face that business owners should be expected to borrow money to support themselves after the fact, mind you, for a construction project that poses significant risks to us. in my personal situation, I think it's imperative that we start exploring our options. Again, this is something that we've been exploring for 3 years in terms of what we need to do to support ourselves. And the reality is that we need to replace those lost sales. Our business employs 32 employees. There's thousands of employees along University Avenue. And a project of this magnitude, I guess, which would be the largest public transit infrastructure project in the state's history, is not addressing the fact that we have employees on the ground here right now. Our business, we are basically fighting against the tax dollars which we pay in. We are fighting to save for our survival, and our tax dollars are being used against us, basically, and we're fighting for our survival. Obviously, the loss of revenue is very crippling to a business. There's only so much you can do to reduce your overhead. You still need electricity and employees and power, even when you have a reduction in sales. And our concern is that the planning of this project, the elected officials who are responsible for this project, haven't acknowledged the fact that both the loss of on-street parking, approximately 85% of all parking on University Avenue is going to disappear. And this project is starting next March. So for 3+ years, we've been begging the elected officials to come up with a plan to help support us through construction. And we have not seen any significant impacts as a result of our concerns. So small business owners have to start looking at their legal options to protect themselves. It's not that we're not in support of this project, but it's inequitable to expect our businesses, the businesses that have been on this avenue for years and years, in our case decades, to be put at risk of survival as a result of this transit project. And I think that our goal as business owners on the avenue is to contact elected officials. I've personally sent out notices to elected officials, explain the concerns that we have, and with very little response. Clearly, they're not ignoring us, but the programs that are in place are not going to be substantial or significant enough. As you've seen in Lower Town, there's already been a loss of businesses as a result of the pre-construction, and we're certainly concerned that we're going to suffer the same fate. I think that the concern is that there isn't a program out there right now that's designed to help save the businesses, and this project is happening in March. In 3 months, there are going to be cones on the street. Immediately we're going to lose our parking with no significant resources to help save our businesses. Obviously, this is the 21st century. Businesses are equipped to manage change, but we cannot be expected to fight the kind of headwinds that we're going to incur as a result of this project without economic support. So that's basically the concern that I think all business owners have. We've established ourselves on this avenue. We pay taxes. We collect sales tax. We basically work to support the community and ourselves. And at the end of the day, we're people. We have jobs. We employ people. We have mortgages. We have expenses that we're required to pay. And we need some recognition from the elected officials that there's going to be significant negative, harmful impacts to our businesses, and we need support as a result of that. So I think now I will turn it over to Sven.